Yes, we had an earthquake yesterday, but it wasn't much, not for us. Different people felt different things. The biggest scare was the alert on the phone. I'm going to change it up. I'm going to start from the bird garden right now. Look at all this, what I'm digging away and clearing up. Hi, everybody. It is Robbie from Southern California. Still trying to fill this bed, and I'm putting cuttings in here. So once this fills out, this is geranium, this will be really good. I've been spreading myself thin all over the yard. Oh, so is Gary. Look, he has been going crazy with his wood chipper. He told me this is fig tree. Is this not cool? This has been fantastic because he can go around now and trim the trees and get rid of the branches, which we could use in the garden. So let's talk about what's going on here. All right, well, this actually came out of my chair garden. So to the left in that tote are 2 brassicas in a pot like I layer. Why not repurpose? The birds will eat the seeds and maybe it will grow into a nice plant. So I yanked it out, dragged it to the bird garden. That's right, pot and all. This is massive. I can't even believe it did, but I dragged it over here. I wrapped it with tulle because the first day I set it in here, and I figured I'd give some more seeds and flowers for the birds and the bees because this is blooming beautiful. Well, it got tipped over by a squirrel. Just tipped over. They didn't chew it up, thank goodness. So I just put some tomato stakes here and I kind of wrapped it around. Well, the stake is holding this, and then the tulle, as you can see, is clipped on with some paper binders and they haven't touched it. They don't like the feel of it. So I think this is going to fill in quite nicely, and if it doesn't, I'll add more to it as time goes on. And I'm getting ready to start hacking back the dragon fruit plant. I really don't want to. It really bothers me at set root and everything, but I want to bring it back a little bit so I can have more room to put more feeders and designate different places for different birds to feed here and bathe here and hang out. Oh, and maybe make a nest. Remind me to show you a nest that we found. Actually, Gary found it, and I was watering the day before all around it. We'll get to that really soon because this is exciting. Then here are my totes that are, 9 years old? Aren't they beautiful? Look at the pineapple sage. Oh my gosh, I should propagate that. Or maybe lift it up at something. No. You know what? When something's doing that well, I don't want to touch it. I'd rather buy a new one than move that when it's doing really good. It's got a geranium in the back, walking onions, and this is purslane growing. But that's what's going on here. I'm going to get to these soon because, like I said, I am spreading myself thin. Oh, and let me show you this. These are walking onions. They're walking. See how they're going to work their way up? Now, none of them have bursted open yet. These are old. These are really big. You could pull each one out and have a good sized onion on the bottom. But I'm going to have babies there, and you'll see it throughout the yard as we walk through, because this is the time of the year. Here in Southern California, let's keep going, my walking onions walk twice. This is going to be composted. This is canary seed, and I don't understand, but we rarely see anybody try to get the seeds out of it. I don't know why. It grows nice, but nope, they don't feed on it. So that's basically it right now here. But the walking onions, yes, they do twice a year in the fall, and then in early spring they start. Here is my beautiful hummingbirds lunch. Isn't that gorgeous? All started from a cutting. I've got some more cuttings. See how I stick them in? Really tiny. Okay, I don't want the grass. That's probably coming from birdseed, but I want to concentrate on that. And I'll stick in a few pieces. I don't even take care of it. If it makes it, it makes it. Very quiet. Oh, things are changing. Boy, this is a very different year when it comes to birds. I'm going to have to say disappointing, and curiosity is getting to me as what's going on. So normally now we would have a ton of orioles here. We've got 2 males that we have seen and 1 female that I will admit came in and did not look good. Now, what happened to her, what was wrong with her, I don't know. But here's the other thing. We don't have any insects. If we don't have insects, the insect eaters are not going to stay. Now, I make my own insects, and this I'm going to freshen up because this has not been open. See that? I'm going to have to get a lot more totes around here and throw in leaves and stuff and let it rot to get little fruit flies. But that's only going to provide for the birds that eat little insects. Look at this. I'm starting some here. These are all just cuttings I stuck in there. And this I'm hoping will take. This is the blanket flower. And I'm starting to do cuttings. And right now, they have been taking. So I'm not sure what's going on. Well, I'm hoping more orioles will show up as the season goes on. We have a lot of towhees. You may be able to see the little towhee there, but they live here all year round. Okay, let's swing over here for a minute. Oh, let me show you this. I have so many of these plants now everywhere. There's one there. Here's another one. Oh, my fuchsias are going to bloom. Here's another one. These are all cuttings off a little piece that I dragged home that I found. And now I've got beautiful plants. This is, I don't know what it is, but it's the Martha Washington style. So as you can see where I put it, it's kind of in the shade. It's sheltered from all the other plants. They like shelter. Anytime you see that leaf, I have found out, they do like shelter. They don't like heavy sun. But the other ones that we have, I don't have them right here. They have more of a leaf like this. They don't seem to mind the sun. So you kind of have to test around. More propagating I'm doing down there. I've got Hummingbirds lunch. And this I've got the one I picked up. It's another type of geranium. The flowers already bloomed and fell off. Remember, we talk about rocks. If it wasn't for rocks, I wouldn't be probably propagating as much as I do. If you want to get me into more propagating, I'll do more videos. Just put it in the comments. Say more propagating and we'll do it. Oh, look at this. Oh my goodness. Look at my dill. I got to get my dill planted. This has been just heaven. I come out here and I keep picking. It doesn't look like much because I just made a salad again. I make salads constantly. So I got another table. I bought these at Walmart. They're like 30 bucks, a little bit here and there more, you know. But this has been fantastic. This is a heavy plastic and then metal legs, and it's adjustable. You can make it different heights. And I plan on getting a lot of this set up for my lettuce because I want to have lettuce all summer. And these containers I'm making, oh my gosh, it really keeps the bugs out. Now, sometimes I leave them open too long and I'll find some whitefly on there. I just wash it off and then put them back. But remember, if you get insects in there, you're trapping the insects in there and you're protecting them. Worst comes to worst, start over. No big deal, but it's been great. No aphids, no nothing. I come out here, I just pick what I need and rinse. Oh, and these are some flowers. I just uncovered them. I need to get them planted. Zinnias and marigolds. All right, let's keep going over here. I need to get into the garden here and freshen up some of the fountains. I've got fountains that are just not working and I've got to get that in and scrub it. That's a candlestick. Oh my goodness. Oh, look at the little goldfinch. Can you see him? Actually, it's a little female. And then I've got the fountain back there that's off a USB battery. Oh, you can't. Oh, look. I'm going to zoom in for a minute because I want you to see this. Hold on. This is while we're out here. Look at that. Oh my gosh, you know the white crowns are gone. We only have a few left. They are migrating. Look, look, look. But those are spice finches and they stay here now and have their babies. Is that not cool? So I want to move it over so it's not just going to be a whole bunch of feeders there, but I'm going to have feeders that way. The bird garden for feeding will be probably almost to the gate to around this post. Though I do have this one here. Then it will be full of fountains for the birds to come in. And they have all this shelter from the plants. This was a little nothing. Do you know these two plants in here? The emu bush, this is the yellow one, and the hummingbirds lunch are still in their pot. They're just in a pot sitting on the ground, but their roots went into the ground and that's how it's growing. Look at the geraniums. I have such a love now for geraniums. I can't believe how beautiful they are. Look at this and look at this. It seems like when I go to the store, if I find one that's different, I just buy it. So anyways, I've got a lot of fountains to clean up. I've been working on my deck. I've been working in the chair garden. We'll see that soon. Then I moved this one out. I bought this, I think I bought this a couple years ago, and I stuck it under there, and it was okay. And then I read up on it and found that, it likes a lot of sun. So out it came, and now it's there, and I've got a marigold coming up here, and then I've got some brassicas, and I've stuck in a little bit of the Hummingbirds lunch. If it takes, it takes. If it doesn't, it doesn't. Fountain needs to be washed out, and then look at my tree collards. I got to get more growing. They're too big. They could topple at any time. What else? There's not a lot going on in here because I'm kind of sporadically working here and there. I dragged this over here. I'm going to plant some flowers in it, probably. Dish pans, love my dish pans. but I've got to clean that up. I've got milkweed back there. This is just growing from the seed. And so I've got a lot of that. I've got a lot I want to do in here. I mean, you may look and think it's just flowers and stuff. No, it's not. This has given us food all winter long. All these brassicas that are that big, there is nothing nicer than just coming out here, which I do every day, and picking greens from all over the garden among the flowers, bringing it in and making a green drink, or adding it to the lettuce salad I'm making now. Just chop it really fine and take the most tender leaves when you're using it for a salad like that. This is tree collard. Gary says, it's in the way when I walk. I know. I need to chop it out and then plant it. So that's why I haven't done anything yet. I will. Now, a lot of the brassicas, and a lot of them are hybrids. Even back here, it looks like broccoli, but it is not. Though I love this one. This is my pride and joy one. Look, the leaves get really big. They get bigger. They're going to seed. Now, technically, I should cut the seed down, but I leave that for the bird because, first of all the birds feed on the seed heads. They'll feed on it even now, and there might be little bugs in there, so the bush tits and different birds will come in and eat. And then you get the bees and the hummingbirds feeding on the flowers. See how it's a little bit of a trumpet type? They get in there and feed and get the little bit of nectar and pollen out. So I'm leaving it. Now, if you were just growing it for yourself, for food, I would say absolutely chop it down. Maybe I should do a video and show you exactly how to do it. Because as the plant is going to seed, it's putting all its energy in this. It's trying to reproduce and get the best seeds by pulling everything out of the ground or container, wherever it's growing, and putting everything in the seed head. But look at the leaves. See how the leaves get skinnier and skinnier as you go up? Because it's not producing any more leaves. Will it die back, the plant? It could. Generally, they don't, but it could. So if you want me to talk more about that or even get up close and show you how to trim it back, put it in the comments and I'll get you a video on how to trim it back to save your plant. And we can get more into details because there's a lot that we can know and do about this. Look at this. We're about ready to open a walking onion, and on top will be a whole bunch of babies. And at the right time, we will take that down and plant it, but not right now. Look at this. You know what I did with this? This is last year's tomato plant. I chopped it all the way back down, and I figured if it fizzles out, it fizzles out. Oh no, it's gonna grow. I'm not sure which one it is. I have a feeling it might be the Travelers, one I was not gonna grow this year. But if it's gonna survive all winter and come back now in the spring, more power to it. All right, let's kind of hike through here. I haven't quite gotten to here, though I'm still working on things. I want to get, well, I just don't have the heart to throw away dragon fruit when I cut it off. I want to get more tree color all along here. Look at Gary's flowers he planted back there. You see that? Isn't that cool? And then I've got my geraniums. I want to get more tree colored up against the wall like I did this one. You probably remember, this was a small plant and it's in the ground, but the pots are here. Why are the pots here? Look at that. Because it's always damp. See how dry the soil is? But see under the pot, all the earthworms? There's always water under pots. So even if I didn't get to this for a few days, this plant, which we don't need this, will always have water from underneath the pots, enough to grab. And that's why I always put pots. That one's done. I got to get that one out. It's an old purple tree colored. Let's keep going. Let me just go around here. This cage will be set up probably on the other side of the yard for feeding. It will protect birds, but birds can go in and out, but it will protect them from hawks. And then my mint. Oh, this I have to get out. This is turmeric. This whole thing is going to be packed. This is why I do not grow turmeric in totes. It's going to go all the way to the bottom and a nightmare for me to take out. So I'm just going to gently shovel it out, get all the turmeric out, and they're all going in pots from now on. I'll put something else in here, maybe more mint. I love mint. This is all chocolate mint and peppermint through here. My moringa is coming back. Isn't that pretty? I love my moringa. Add that to my green drink. Oh, do I feel a difference when I don't make it. And this is just a little area for me to work in. There's my papayas, by the way. I think they're getting to end of life. They only live about 5 years. Look how many there are. Sometimes you see a lot of fruit on something and it's like, uh-oh, is it doing really good or is it trying to produce before it, passes away? But we'll see. Whatever happens, I'll get some more growing. And these are all grown from seed by me. And then the geraniums are protecting it a little bit, which I planted. I didn't plan on it getting this big, but I can do so many cuttings off of this. We can't keep the cuttings on all of them because now we have geraniums everywhere. It's a nice little place to work. And then I've got a lot of propagating going on there. Look at this. This is my purple Russian red kale. It looks so purple. There's pieces there. I've got walking onions in here with Hummingbirds lunch growing. This is something I didn't take care of. Doesn't matter. It didn't really need it. I'll probably end up composting all that. And then some more purple tricolored in here. Though that needs water. So that means I did not come to that yesterday. And then I'll get that planted. And look at the citrus trees. My goodness, they've bursted into life. Look at that. That is a type of, I think it's a cocktail grapefruit. I've got a lemon back there. And then I've got the tangerines or mandarins over there. There's just, just so much foliage on there. Let's go out and see what's going on here. I haven't even been outside this morning out here. Okay, let me close the gate. I don't know why, but I do. Just in case Zoe comes outside. I want to make sure the gates are closed. There's a hummingbird. Look, look. Sorry about that. Should I play music to it? No, the thing is I really don't have a lot of footage of them feeding on here, but the bottle brush plant has a lot of pollen. See the pollen? And they'll eat, see this? They'll eat some of the pollen off of that, and they're always picking around for things. A lot of birds come to this. The orioles feed on it, and then the tanagers come. You'll see them in there. So there's a lot of birds. Bush tits, everything. All the birds come and get something out of the bottle brush. And to think that Gary found this out front growing as a teeny tree, planted it here, and look how beautiful, majestic it is. And then, of course, I've got my rosemary, which has been flowering away. And there's the cocktail grapefruit. And then what's here? He hasn't gotten to this yet. This is Gary's project. He's going to build something, and we'll all see it when he gets to it. Now, this could be a disaster. I haven't been out here this morning at all. Milkweed. Nothing new out in here, really, because I'm working in so many. Oh, that's not true. We're going to go see something in a minute. I did plant a tomato plant. This is one of them I picked up from Home Depot. It's doing okay. See the walking onions? They've got their own pot. This is for layering. And then I've got the propagating Russian red kale back there. But I want to empty, I'm not going to empty it. I'm just going to plant something new in there. I'm still debating what I'm going to do with this. Do I leave it the way it is and let some of the butterflies come in, caterpillars, and then let them do their thing and then cover it up? I've got pepinos in here. See, I opened it up so now the pollinators can get in here and pollinate the pepinos. Got more pepinos here. This plant's older, so I've got to get a lot of cuttings off of it. I've got mustard growing down here. But look at the milkweed. It's kind of taken over everything. But it's really cool. Pizza garden is coming back. If I was smart, or found the time, I'd cut my basil way back and let it come back on its own. And I think I'm going to do that pretty soon. It really needs a good trimming. I've got a basil plant up here. This survived the whole winter. This is really the first time. Normally, some of them have survived, and then come spring, they die. I don't know, but this one is actually making a wonderful comeback, and I've taken a lot of cuttings off of it as well. Then I've got the rosemary I planted here, a couple years ago when I first did it. Put this together about probably 3 years now. It's growing really good. I don't know if the thyme will make it back. It's still green, but there's thyme there. Pizza garden, because I use all these herbs when I make homemade pizza. And then I've got oregano. So everything is growing. And then the sage back there. Pepper garden can use some refreshing. Oh, and this is the original plant. See the flower? It is all over the ground. So I need to do much more cuttings on this. And when I do the cuttings and I'm propagating, I do not take the flowers off, even though everybody will tell you to take them off. I don't. I want to enjoy the flowers, and the plant doesn't seem to mind. And then this, Gary cut this down because there was a fig tree here. This is a purple tree color, and I needed to, see, that's a beautiful cutting. A lot more cuttings off of that and get that moved out. And he's going to have to chop out the fig tree. We don't want the fig tree here anymore. Okay, let's walk over here. Got some stuff in pots I need to move around if I want it. I need to really get through all of this right now. All these have potatoes in it, and I did not do anything. Got to get the weeds out, which I'm leaving for the goldfinches. All the sow thistle. I just don't want to take it out because they're feeding babies and nesting, and it's just a big part of their food. And there's been really very little food for the wild birds. So I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do with that, but I have to get in there because all these buckets lined up do have potatoes in there. This will have potatoes in here too. I've peeked, and I want to get it tipped and emptied. And look at the milkweed. It's going to seed. Look at that. And what is it designed to do? To fly. That's why it gets all over. So in here, this will be set up for something soon. This is my pepinos. I've got a bunch of them in here. I had to cover this because something got in here. I should start picking these. They're beautiful. But I had to cover it because I don't know what came in here and pulled one of them off. It probably a squirrel. So I just quickly used the irrigation tubing that I showed you guys years ago. Nobody was using it, only me. And I showed you how to do this. You can put something up in minutes. So I threw that over some tomato stakes. Actually, these are not even in tomato stakes. Look at that. These are just stuck in there. So you don't have to have tomato stakes. And then I tied it with a piece of fabric and threw tulle on it, and it's saving that plant. I think this one's on the way out, so I figured I'd wait till this milkweed, it's not milkweed, this thistle is out, the sow thistle, but if not, I'll pull it out, put it in a pot. Now this is what's new. Okay, we can't get in here because there's just too much going on. This is an old top I made. I can uncover it as long as I remember there's nothing in here. I put on the paper binders, which I cannot find right now. I have to cover this back or I'm going to end up losing this to a squirrel. But I've got carrots growing in here. Look at the carrots. I've got mustard. Okay, we're going to remove some of the sow bugs and put them on the ground. We don't need that many in there. But I'll see the leaf I took off. I'll leave that on the bottom. This way they'll eat that because they really like decaying matter. If they can't find decaying matter, then they'll eat your plant. But I've got mustard. This is nothing. This is layering. I don't even know what's under there. So I can water in here and know it's going to be really wet. Look at that. And that's what I do. So I water this and it keeps the plant really well watered. Look at how beautiful. Is that not gorgeous? Leave that open right now. I do have to open this when it gets in bloom because it will need to either be hand pollinated or pollinated by insects. So I do keep an eye on that. That's done. I had squash, kind of a hybrid, all winter long off of that plant. So rest in peace, my dear plant, but I will be, oh, look at this, it's trying to grow back. I'm going, oh no, it is. It's gonna send out new growth and try again. I don't know if I wanna let it do its thing. Look at that, see that? It wants to send out new growth. I'll see. I'm not getting to it right now anyways. And then the dog kennels. I love the dog kennels. Lettuce constantly. Now, I did not cover this with tulle. So I have periodically gotten some insects in here and I just simply wash them off. I did cover some of the plants. Now, this has pretty much gone to seed. We've eaten the seed heads, but look. So I have kind of a couple things I can do. I can remove this, put it outside, let it continue to flower and collect the seeds, which I should do. And then I've got all the baby lettuce growing back there. And then I've got, see, look at all the lettuce. Can you see all this? Look at this. I just keep harvesting, look, in a milk container. And then I've got some parsley down there, more lettuce, I showed you that. And then some cuttings. This is tree colored, more tree colored. Isn't that beautiful? Oh my goodness. This is funny. This is compost. There's no real soil in here. It's just whatever I collect. You know what all this is? These are tomato plants and peppers. That's tomato. Oh my goodness. And they say you have to wait till it breaks down. Baloney. But anyways, we won't get into that today. I grow in my compost. Here's thyme here. Let me move my tomato plant over. More thyme back there, celery back there. This has been full of tomatoes, but if I don't do something with this plant, I will lose it. I just have to find the time to either move it out or get rid of it. It's literally in a shoebox, so like a blue shoebox. But I love this. It needs to be cleaned up a little bit more. But look at this. Like I said, I just keep getting tomatoes. I have to figure out where I want to put it. It's kind of wound around. I better leave it right now. But see the tomatoes? They're just all over. And there was loaded with red ones down there the other day. I made a salad. There's still a bunch of red ones down there. But it's growing in a shoebox. So if I move it and give it too much soil, it might retaliate and die back on me. Either way, something's got to be done because it's not going to be able to live like that. All right, and then over here, there's not much over there. I don't know what way we should go. Now, the next thing I need to do is I want to hit this with black paint. So I'm thinking anytime, and I want this one completely tooled. So when I come in here and I start planting, I don't want any insects in there. Maybe the few that get on the soil underneath, but I don't want anything eating my plants. So this will be tooled. Look at that. All the weeds growing in there. That's a good thing, because I'll pull that out and put it in a tote. Let's see, which direction should we go in? Is this not pretty? There's a lot going on down there, because I've been working. You know what? There's nothing new here. The front yard doesn't have much. I'll throw something in on the front yard to show. But we're just moving pots as we go. And then I'm doing a little bit of plants there. And the blueberries, I don't know if they're going to make it. They're kind of struggling. They're not getting enough sun here. Oh, actually, it's making a better comeback than... Oh, wait. I got blueberries. Teeny, but we'll see. So here is where it's all going to go. I'm going to leave the cars. All this is to be moved. And we're pulling it down from way down there here. I'm going to make an area, a work area in this little porch area. That's what I'm working on right now. And then I still propagate here. So that's what I do on this side of the yard. Just propagating. But I've got more lettuce and marigolds and tomato plants. See, they're starting to grow. I'm propagating different things, walking onions. This is a wild plant that I picked. It's a native plant. I think it's a sticky monkey plant. So that's what I'm doing here. And then a nice area in the summer to work on. But that will probably be the only thing, and I'm not sure yet what's going to be there. Those great totes over there are going to be moved, the black ones. So all this will go. You know what? Let's take a peek at the front yard because there's something I want to show you. Then we'll come back and do the back. Now we're in the front yard. Looks pretty much the same. But let me tell you what is going on. And we do have something, so I have to be very careful. I've got the geraniums and then the red vein sorrel is growing. This has gone to seed. And I'm leaving this for the birds and the bees. And I'll trim it down later. And then geraniums, look at this. This one's in the ground. Isn't this beautiful? I'm going to show you. I'll show you that in a minute. And then I've got to get the fig tree out. I don't know yet if I'm going to leave these totes. It depends on the sun. I'm going to analyze the sun and see if I can get something growing in here again. I may be able to get some squash in here. I love growing zucchini in the front yard. See the flowers? And see, sometimes there's little bugs on there. And then the little birds will come and eat that too. But I'm not working in here that much. I've got to get to my table. I'll show you the walking onions. There's a lot going on. It just looks like a mess. Look at this. I'm just going to freshen that up. Clean the bottom off a little bit. Add in some leaves and stuff on the bottom that I pull out. I'm going to leave that. The walking onions are doing really good. I had radishes in here. This is a leftover radish that reseeded. And then I had some bok choy, I think, growing in here. And then celery, which I want out. And then this is another one. I might pull that out and plant that in the garden, the bird garden, which is right over there. But we'll see. But let me show you something. Very quietly, because I'm not trying to do a lot. We have a lot of birds that are nesting now, but not the birds you would think. Because the birds that are nesting are seed eaters. So they found a place where they could get their food. But the insect eaters are leaving. Do you see that? Out in the open? Is that something? Let's take a peek in there really quick. And then we're going to leave. Oh, look at the brassica back there. Look at the leaves on that. Is that not gorgeous? But isn't that cute? Look, 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 look. Two of them out in the open. They must have figured this was a really safe place to have their babies. And so they just built it in a geranium. I have never seen that before. That tote better not fall. It's sitting on an old stump. But I'm sure by the time it ever goes over, the babies will be gone. They'll be gone in the next week or so. Isn't that cute? All right, now let's go look at my ginger and turmeric, which has nothing, and then we'll go see where I am working on things and changing things up. And real quick, I want to show you, and I do have to get this brassica out of here. I need to trim my beautiful finger lime back. Look at the flowers. It's got spikes on it. That's unreal. And I want to put some fresh mulch in there. In other words, leaves and different things, and that will feed the plant. But it's so full of flowers. It won't disturb it as long as I don't take too much soil out. Isn't that not beautiful? Now, I plan on getting a lot of ginger and turmeric here very soon. I've taken my time because though I should have taken it out already, the thing is we don't have a lot of rain, so it's staying damp. I hit it with water just a little bit, but you can see, look at that. It is full in there, so I've got to get this out and then replant what I want, which means put one piece back, and then the rest either eat or whatever, and I'll decide if I'm going to leave that tote there or just put a pot of something there. I'm not sure yet. I didn't do anything with it last year. It's kind of tipping. So we'll see what happens then. All right, now let's go take a walk in the back. As we walk back, look at this. This is where I've been grabbing mustard, and then there's carrots through here too. Oh, did the rabbits eat up all the carrots? I've taken no, here's a carrot. I've actually been transplanting the carrots. Oh no, here they are, because my carrot was growing in there. It's long gone, and these are all carrots. So I'm trying to move them, and it works out really well. So let me tell you, I didn't bring it up yet. So I was in the yard yesterday, and I was just recording some of the stuff I'm doing around here. My phone locked up just out of the blue, and I get this message with a big yellow banner and then a big thing saying, earthquake, emergency, drop, cover, and duck now. And then being that I was walking in the yard, I really only felt a little bit, but I could hear, I was in the front yard, the metal. It was so scary. All the chain link just rattling away, just rattling. And then it was over. It's a 5. It was a 5.2. But boy, it was by the San Diego area, and it was big. It was big, and there's been a lot of aftershocks since. More milkweed. Now this, I don't know. This came up by seed on its own. I was growing some different types of eggplant in there a couple years ago, so I'm not sure what type it will be. Still need to get to that, but here's the thing. Some of these places I haven't done anything with. Look at all the food I've got. This is all walking onions. See how they're walking? Just walking onions growing all over here, and yet I eat the leaves that I want to eat. You can eat this, but why eat this? You'll have more plants. Look at the Swiss chard growing. I mean, this is food. Here's a nasturtiums. I've got onions in here. Pretty soon I'll be picking onions. I've got the nasturtiums that Gary eats. You can add that to salad. Here's a sow thistle coming up. I'll probably leave that for the birds. This is all onions in here. I think there's the red, and purple onions and yellow onions and white onions in there. And then the garlic, which the nasturtiums are growing in. We'll see how much garlic I get out of here, but the greens. Oh, so good to add to food. I don't know what I'll do with this, but I got a moringa growing in here. The tomatoes. This, I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do, because I really wanted to grow like cherry tomatoes and certain tomatoes. These came up on their own. This could be anything. And that's the thing. Being a volunteer and growing on its own could be the best tomato in the world. Now, I don't know what these are going to be, but I'm looking at them. They're teardrops. Oh, look at this. Must have been in the soil I brought here. I wonder if these are going to be the yellow ones. They're growing all over. I've got them on the deck as well. And they grow true. So when they grow yellow, they're yellow pear tomatoes. They don't seem to hybridize with other tomatoes. And when they grow the same. So it'll be interesting. Here's a gladiola. To see what they're going to be. So we know those two are those. I'm not sure what the middle is yet. The way they're clustering, it looks like a type of cherry tomato. We'll have to wait and see what color they're going to be. Look at the Swiss chard. And there's my guards, the lizards. Isn't that beautiful? I've got the red one in the back, walking onions. Been eating this. I make, well, my grandmother used to make what was called spinach patties. Just some spinach and greens, a little bit of flour, which I use rice flour, and then fry them up. They're so good. Well, I make it out of Swiss chard. Spinach doesn't grow that good here, but the Swiss chard does and tastes pretty much the same. Now this one I may or may not keep. Here's a look at this. Teardrop tomatoes again. I may stand that up and fix it up and put maybe a watermelon in there. This, let's see, which is the keeper? This is the keeper. Gary loves these tomatoes. They get to a good size. You can slice them too. Some of them are even bigger. They taste incredible. So that's going to stay, and I'm catering to that one and to this one. Again, all volunteers. Something that grew on this property, really liked the climate, and as soon as I set these up, getting ready in the spring to grow, because I did it all winter, they're growing for me. So I'm leaving that. Here is a zucchini I just planted from seed. Now, this right now I put a basket over because I don't want any squirrels or birds to chew on my new plant that I just planted, grew it in the house, but I also have to leave some leaves around. Kind of push them in the soil a little bit. If I've got any roly-polies in there, they'll eat the plant. But if you've got something else for them, I mean, they'd rather eat decaying, and if they've got decaying leaves, they'll eat that. If they don't, then they'll eat your plant. This works really good. Sometimes they even hide under it. I don't see any right now. So they could be hiding even underneath my green sorrel. But notice how I'm layering. I water this, and there'll always be water under here for that plant. And then here's my one that I planted, what, 2 weeks ago or something? My goodness. Now this was quick. This I put together 1, 2, 3. I had to, or I was going to lose it with the squirrels. I've got other ways of doing it where it looks neater, but I didn't have time because this is already going to have flowers opening at any time, and I want that food. I want my zucchini. I had planned on doing watermelon, but I think right now, since we're still too early for watermelon, I'm going to go with zucchini, and if I change up later, just chop them out, compost them. It sounds horrible to do that, but start growing watermelon unless I find someplace else. I've got a beautiful carrot here. I should pull it with you. Let's see. Can you see my, hold on. I want you to see, look. I've got a carrot. I have no idea how big or small it is. You know, if I was going to make a green drink, I'd pull it right now. I'll pull it in a couple days. I made a green drink last night. And because I want to use the tops too. This is celery, but this is in a container. See, look at all the earthworms and stuff. And that is for layering, but I'm going to remove that, and there'll be either another zucchini in there, which is my favorite vegetable to grow, or I'll do a watermelon. And then here, I haven't looked at it this morning. Okay, this is done. I threw this here. This is sow thistle, but I left it in the wheelbarrow so the birds can come still feed on it. And that's doing okay. Notice the rock. I've got this clipped down. I'm going to leave it. But there it is, and there's a rock next to it. So I've got one there. The meadow's doing really good. It's coming back to life. Gary's starting to pull stuff out of the ponds and clean it up. I want to get more geraniums. Look at the pomegranates. Aren't they beautiful? And then look at the rosemary I planted there a couple years ago. This is such a beautiful place to sit. It gets a lot of sun. And then look, more nasturtiums. I planted that. That came off out front in the street, and I picked it up and put it there. It's one of ours, and it just took really well. I think they call them hen and chicks. And then those are 4 o'clocks. Gary hates them. They get really big, and he worries about them because when they get big and bushy, we could end up with rattlesnakes or something underneath. But for now, I'll keep tabs on it. This is some of it's mustard. I'm not sure what all the weeds are. Again, more geraniums that I planted. Sugarcane, that's the black sugarcane. Keep in mind, if you're buying sugarcane to chop up and kind of suck on and chew on, get the regular one, because I found out the black sugarcane is more for ornamental. There's not as much juice in them. And then my pride and joy, which is that side. I am working on it, but let's look at the Let's look at the truck bed. I'm not 100% sure what I'm going to do with it, but I'm going to leave the tomato that came up on its own right now, because I've been getting tomatoes. I've got celery here. I've got celery there. Beautiful Swiss chard. I don't know if you can see the flowers in the back, but the fig leaf gourd is going nuts. And I actually like it as long as I pick them small and then put them in my ground beef. And then this is a purple tricolor. It's propagated. Just seeing what's, oh yeah, there's an earthworm. But this I want to plant something in, and I'm not sure yet what. And then I found this. This is trash, and I painted it the same color, and I can put some succulents or something in there. And then this is a flower. I planted these by picking the seeds off those yellow flowers over there. You know, the name just got away from me. They're like a marigold, but they're a little bit different. Well, that's growing in here wild. And then I threw some seeds in here, and I've got 2 plants that are coming up. So that is good. This is just a geranium I'm propagating. I can move it anywhere. So that's doing really good. And then this is what Gary built, and he threw all the weeds in last year. Remember, a year before. Last year, early on. And it grew all the Swiss chard. It broke down just all these weeds, which I've been picking right now before he gets to it, because I'm using it. And I've had Swiss chard all year. Look how beautiful. Oh, an avocado tree that came up, and I left it in the bucket because that's where I want it. I can use it for shade, but I've got one coming up back there, which I think I'll leave. I'll see what happens among my apple trees. Just a good place for it to grow. I've got sage in here. Again, I put leaves and all kinds of stuff in that pot, started watering the pot, and the sage just burst into life. And look at my nectarines. I've got nectarines. Gonna have to wrap the trunk with tulle. That will keep the snails and stuff off. Look, look. They're all over. I'm so excited. This is such a good tree. Last year we had over 50 of them. We kept eating them, and then what I did was the birds started finding them. I think that was in the middle of June. So I stripped them all off, let them ripen, split them in half. Well, I washed them first, split them in half, and then I froze them. And I still have a little bit left in the freezer. And my chair garden. Is that not gorgeous? Not much over there. There's no action there. I've got my turmeric growing, but nothing yet. You know, I'm starting to work on all these tables. And then I had a bunch of bulbs. They didn't do anything. They were from the 99-cent store. They were from Holland. They never really grew. So I had a couple of them come up, but they're still so small. So it just didn't do that well. And then Gary's starting to throw weeds in there. But I'll get turmeric growing soon. He did trim this tree, and now with his wood chipper, he's going to trim more and more, so we'll have all the chips. But there's the chair garden. I am getting to it now. I just started this one. I've got another zucchini here, right in here, though I don't know if I'm going to leave it. Because what I really want to do is I want to plant watermelon in here. I did so well the first year with watermelon there and one there. It was fantastic. So I'm going to think about how I want to do this. I'm working in here, as you can see. I'm going to have tomatoes. I've got tomatoes from last year, and I don't know if I'm going to leave those or start over. Swiss chard I'll probably take out. I've got garlic chives and walking onions and more tomatoes and red vein sorrel and green sorrel and a tomato plant that came up here. But hold on, let's walk around. This is why I had to run and put tulle on this. So this is from last year, but this is new. This is so full of strawberries that if I don't do something, it's just packed. I believe this is seascape. If I don't do something, they're all gonna disappear. Look how beautiful in a pot. So I put this for now, so this way the bees can go down inside and still pollinate. And I don't know if the birds will really want to stand on this and try to climb in. But if they do, at some point, I'll cover the whole thing. Right now, it's working. And that's it. Look at the red vein sorrel. Isn't that gorgeous? I just use that for my green tree. So that's it. Do you think it looks different? I have just been trying to do a lot of different things. Growing seeds in the house, propagating. I'm propagating tomatoes on my window. Anything that's a really good tomato plant, I'm propagating. This is broccoli. I snap this off and eat this all the time. I'll bring this down soon, and then I'll be using the leaves. There's another one I found in here. Another strawberry plant. It was tucked away, so I've got that sitting there. This is my favorite garden. You can watch a lot of videos on this. This has been growing now 2020. I had a garden, a full garden in 2020, 21, 22, 23, 24. That's 5 growing seasons. This will be my 6th. and nothing has been moved. The chairs haven't been moved, nothing. And this has been one of my favorite gardens. As you can see, there's birds all over the place. Like I said, real quick, I'm going to end this. We have a lot of seed-eating birds, but the insect-eating birds, like a lot of the songbirds, the hummingbird is watching me in the apple tree. They left. There's something odd going on. I know there's been fires. We had a big earthquake yesterday. I don't think it has anything to do with the fires even. The problem is there's no insects. If I can't find insects, just a few here and there, how are they going to find insects? Usually you go here and you find a bunch of cabbage moths. I haven't even seen any cabbage moths, and you'll find the caterpillars. That's what they go in, the orioles and even the songbirds, and they'll be in there just pecking away and taking the insects. There's no insects. If there's no insects, there's no food for them. So obviously they went somewhere else. Is he going to go inside my squash? Oh no, I know what he's doing. Let's zoom in for a minute. Do you see what he's got? Okay, Gary was right. Hold on. Gary was right. He told me that just above where I put that, there's a house finch building a nest. Ooh, fighting's going on. So they're going to have a nest above my zucchini, which is perfectly fine as long as they don't eat my zucchini. Sometimes they eat the leaves a little bit, and I don't plan on uncovering it right now. Like I said, I have so many different methods now of covering that I may change it up later and make it whiter. It depends if the squirrels start getting to my stuff. If they get to my food, I'm not going to sit back and cry and think I'm losing everything. I'm going to be out here and I'm going to be covering everything up. I also want to get more water fountains out here. And let me tell you something. You should be getting your pumps now, because the pumps are a phenomenal price. I have them tagged in my description with the tool. If you need tool, it is dirt cheap, and you really want to get this stuff now, because I don't know what's going to be if this continues with everything going on, stuff not coming in from certain countries, that it may end up being $4 a yard. And right now I get all my tool 40 yards, 54 inches wide for under $10 free shipping. So what you do is you go into where you see my title, you tap it. You'll see a bunch of pictures of stuff, things I buy and love. Pass that up and go to more. And once you get into past that more, you'll see in my description where I talk about the video, you'll see blue links if you're on a phone or a tablet or even the computer. You can tap on that and see where you can get the tool for cheap as well as fountains, because I don't know what's going to be later. I bought more tool yesterday. I bought a burgundy and I use green. That's green. That is the turquoise, but it faded because it's over a year old. So they go for years in the garden. I mean, everybody's yard's going to be different. If you're in Arizona and you're super hot, maybe it's only going to last a year, but sometimes it goes for 2 years for me. So you really need to get what you need now, because I don't know what's going to happen, and it's cheap. And that's it. So I am going in to get some breakfast. The sun has come out. Look at that. See, I told you I left the sow thistle there in the wheelbarrow for the birds to feed on, and that's what they're doing right now. So I'm going to go in and get breakfast. I hope you enjoyed this. Ask questions. Tell me what you want to see. Tell me what your needs are. If I've got an answer or a thought, I will most certainly come back and do videos on that, or maybe we can do some live feeds on that too. Oh, the birds are everywhere. So with that, have a wonderful day, and hopefully the rocking and rolling around here will stop. And have a great day, and don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye. How can you not love that? And how could I ever deny them food? Oh my gosh, are they adorable? Well, at least they're eating the weeds and not my garden. This is just so beautiful to sit out here. It's always hard for me to go inside. Oh, look at that lizard, pumping up and down. He's in charge. They seem to think they're a lot bigger than they are. Oh, He's not scary to me.